we're going to check out, I'm going to make a quick video here on solving 1 and 2 step equations. We've already done this in class, but just in case you need a reference, here it is. So an equation is going to be a sentence stating that two quantities are equal, right? The solution with that is, you guys call them answers. What a solution is it's going to be the value of a variable that makes an equation true. So when you substitute in a number for the variable, what would make the whole equation true? Inverse operations are going to be pairs of operations that undo each other. So for example, addition and subtraction, those are inverse operations because addition undoes subtraction and vice versa. And then multiplication and division are inverse operations because those guys undo each other as well. So here's the steps. This is just going to be some one-step stuff, and then we've got some stuff on the back. So here we go. So for one-step addition and subtraction, the first thing that you need to do, there's only one thing that you need to do for addition and subtraction. You either need to add or subtract to undo whatever's happening. So for example, we have x plus 6 equals 4. So since this 6 is being added, to undo it, we're going to subtract. So subtract 6 from both sides. What happens then is 6 minus 6 is 0, so that will cancel. The only thing on the left side is x, and then 4 minus 6 is negative 2. So your solution, what makes the equation true, is negative 2. Okay. For the next one, that's addition again. So we've got b plus 8. The opposite or the inverse of addition is subtraction. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Negative 5 minus 8 is negative 13. Positive 8 minus 8 will cancel out to 0. So your solution is b equals negative 13. Last one, we have subtraction. So the inverse of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 8 to both sides. We do this to both sides. I didn't discuss why we do that, but we do this to both sides because if we change something on one side of our equal sign here, unless we do the exact same thing on the other side, then this equal sign is a lie. Because if you're changing something, think about it like a balance scale, right? If you put more weight on one side and don't put the same amount of weight on the other side, your scale will not be balanced. So that's kind of why we do the opposite things here, and that's why we have to do both sides the same. So negative 8 plus 8 will cancel to 0. You'll be left with m equals negative 9 plus 8, which is negative 1. So that's your solution, right? So that's going to be for addition and subtraction. Then we've got multiplication and division. So to undo multiplication or division, you're either going to multiply or divide to undo the operations. So anytime you have a number next to a variable here, like this first one, that indicates multiplication. So to undo this multiplication, you're going to divide by that front number. That front number is called the coefficient, all right, but you got to divide both sides by that. 20 divided by 4 is 5, and then what happens here is 4 divided by 4 is 1, so essentially those guys cancel, and you just have x equals 5 on this first problem. The second problem, similar thing here, okay, we've got a negative 8 next to a y, which is going to be negative 8 times y, so we're going to undo that by dividing both sides by negative 8, all right? These guys will pretty much cancel, get a 1y equals 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. So there's that. Now this one, this is a fraction. What I want you to read this as, though, is like a divided by negative 4. A divided by negative 4. So what we will do, because this is a fraction and every fraction is a division problem, I'm going to multiply everything by the denominator. Okay, multiply by the denominator. Multiply everything on this side by the denominator, which is negative 4. Because what's going to happen then is this negative 4 will cancel out this negative 4. So we only have an A, and then negative 9 times negative 4 is positive 36. Okay, there's that. Then we get to reciprocals, and honestly, what I would recommend that you do on here, I think what's going to be easier at this point is kind of say, forget the reciprocals. I'm going to say, don't worry about those. What we're going to do is we're going to say divide by the coefficient to undo the operations. Coefficient is going to be this front number. So you're actually just going to be dividing on all three of these by this front number. So for 3/8, if that's our front number here next to the variable, this is multiplication. And like we learned up here, the inverse of multiplication is division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 3/8. And you can use a calculator on this. You should use a calculator on this. Okay. 4 divided by 3/8 is going to take me a second to figure out. 32. 4 divided by 3/8. Let's do this. And of course, I don't have a calculator on me. That would be, yeah, it's going to be ugly. It's going to be, I believe, 32 thirds. Your calculator should spit out a 32 thirds. Okay. We're going to do the same thing here. Divide both sides by 4/5. Okay. This one is going to be, if you put it into a calculator, I believe it's going to be -10. I'm trying to do this mentally here. Okay. And then we can try this last one. I know there's fractions, but you'll still do the same thing. Since you've got a -3/7 next to a t, that's multiplication. So we'll divide by the -3/7, which will get you t equals 28/15 if you use a calculator. Okay, so there's that. What I want you to do, if you're checking out this video, pause the video. Okay, pause the video now and try all of these on your own. Go ahead and pause it, and then I'll come back with the answers. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video. If you didn't, this is going to be awkward. I'm going to do these real quick here. So I'm going to subtract 4. -7 equals A. Here, I'm going to add 4 to get R equals +2. Here, I'm going to divide by -9 to get D equals 8. Here I'm going to multiply by -3 to get Y equals 24. This one's going to take a second. Divided by 1/6. Going to get me -12, I believe. Okay. Let's go on to the back side. So the back side is solving two-step equations with variables on one side. Okay, so I'm going to fill out this left-hand thing first, and then And then I'm going to just kind of solve a couple of these, maybe, yeah, just a couple of them. Here's the steps. What you want to do is you want to get your constants to the other side. Constants are going to be numbers or terms. Let's do this. Terms without variables. Okay, and variables are the letters. All right, so those are constants. So you move your constants to the other side, and then you'll use inverse operations. Okay, so here's what I mean. And actually, let's do this. The inverse operation of addition, subtraction. Inverse operation, subtraction, addition. Inverse operation multiplication is division. Inverse operation division, multiplication. Okay. I'm just going to say divide by the coefficient, which this right here, coefficient, is the number in front of the variable. So number in front of variable. Okay, that's what coefficient means. So let me do, I'll do a couple of these here because they're all pretty much done the same way. So when I say get your variable term or get your constants to the other side, the constants are the terms without the variables. So I see this 2x right here, that's a variable term. So I'm going to say this is my variable side, which means this is going to be my constant side. So I need to get rid of this plus 3. The inverse operation of that is going to be minus, so we're going to subtract 3 on both sides. 3 minus 3 will cancel. The only thing you have left on this side is a 2x, and then 7 minus 3 is 4. Now we have 2 times x equals 4, so use inverse operations, which this is 2 times x, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2 to get x equals 2, just like that. Okay, I'm going to do the one underneath here. So again, I'm going to split this. Your variables are on the right side. So I'm going to go, this is the variable side, this is the constant side. We need to move this constant to the other side. So I'm going to add 3 because it's being subtracted. So I'm going to add 3 on both sides. 25 plus 3 is 28. Then the only thing that you have left is 1/4 n. Just like the one above, this is 2 times x. This one is 1/4 times n. So I'm going to divide by 1/4. And what is that? That's going to be 112. This is going to be 112 equals n. Okay. Yeah, I'll do maybe 2 more here. So let's try this one. Okay. 6 minus 3x equals 21. So I'm going to, now this one's kind of interesting. So here's my variable term. So I know that this is the variable term, this is the constant term. This minus sign belongs to this 3x. Okay, so you're not going to add 3x because that would move the variable to the other side. What you need to do is get rid of this 6, and this 6 is positive. So since this 6 is positive, I want you to subtract 6 because 6 minus 6 will get us 0 because we don't want any constants on this side. Okay, remember constants don't have variables because this is not our constant side. This side is. So we need to take 6 minus 6 to remove those constants, but we need to do the same thing on the other side. So what happens then is that negative 3x comes down. 21 minus 6 is 15. Then what you'll do is divide both sides by negative 3. This will get you x equals negative 5. Okay. With the limited time that I have, this is all the time that I have, but I believe this set of notes, the answers for these are on Canvas. So try the rest of these. All right, try the rest of these and check and see what you can get on those.